Just a pain in the ass.
I'm like lost. All right, welcome everybody. Live FMA discussion. This is episode 68 already, going on a calendar year. Tonight we're on our welcome. Tonight we have Tricia Dong, is from Vancouver, Canada, and she's going to tell us what she's doing, who she's trained with, and all that good stuff. So, how are you?
All that jazz. I'm good, thank you. Thanks for inviting me. This is an honor.
Oh my God, no! I want to thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I know it's Friday, so hopefully, everything going on.
Already
I
in the
mean,
pandemic, so yeah, just
yeah.
it's raining. I'm gonna get ready to work night shift later. So
Oh, night shift. Ooh,
hi
okay.
Jay.
Yeah. So, um, yeah. Just actually, what is this? I forget to because I always like to ask this people from different parts of the world or states, more or less just out of curiosity. What is this current situation? I mean, obviously, I know you guys are masked up out there, but is there still like strict parameters as far as distancing and what have you and all that?
Yeah, well, we're kind of preparing for our second wave right now, and they're starting to get stricter. But right now, there's not a mandatory mask wearing protocol. They're
Really?
encouraging.
Wow.
No, it's not mandatory by the province or federal or municipal. Mandatory maybe for private businesses that are requesting guests and customers, and they have the right to do that. But in terms of general, no, that's not mandatory.
Wow, in our state, it's like, matter of fact, if you're not don't have a mask on, I mean, you get looked. It's like crazy. It's like you're like ready to just spread the plague or something. I mean, it's just yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I think Canadians are pretty compliant, and then you get the odd one that's, oh no, you can't tell me what to do. It's my right to say no.
yeah, and then
And
all
they're going to be
all
like that
blankety
throughout the
blank
day.
breaks loose.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got some. All right, if you're watching, please hit the like button and tell us where you're from, where you're watching from. John, Rister, hey Jay, and Brian.
Aloha.
Yes, the roll call, Brian. As they pop in, we'll have to. You'll have to take the roll call. uh, um, all right, so we're gonna jump right into it. So obviously disconcerting FMA and all that. Like, what? Just who, when, and where was your first FMA experience?
First FMA experience was a seminar with Tom Dai Tang and Kenneth Ko.
Ooh, picked a good
Yeah,
one.
I mean, a couple of my clients were in it, and they were just telling me, "Hey, no, you should check this out. You should check this out." I'm like, "Okay, I don't know anything about this, but I trust you." So I went, and there was a lot of people from the states and all across
Mm,
the province and the island, and I was just like, "Wow, this is crazy," but it's a lot of fun. And then I got a stick to the eye, so it was less fun at that point, but it taught me something. Like that's never happened again, and I have about 5 pairs of safety eye protection.
yeah. So in addition to eye protection, that's never.
I showed you the picture. That was funny. Yeah, I look like a tough chick for next month.
Oof. It was your first time. I mean, things happen.
Yeah.
It's. I can remember. God, this is going back. Oh, geez, 2 decades ago. We were doing a roof block thing, and and then on one, I don't know if I just fell asleep with the switch or I distracted, but I went to go here and the stick just caved on my head.
Yep.
Good times. So,
Well, you're
uh,
still in one piece.
yeah, and I still got the IQ with me. So, but so yeah, it could be worse for sure. All right, so from there, obviously that Master Tom, those you don't know, is highly prestigious in the KI community. Jay could obviously elaborate on that. Is just well thought of and highly respected within the KI community. Tony Diego's heir, and he just happened to move to Canada, from my understanding, and all that. Richard Packman, hey, All right, Brian, you got
And
another regular. um, so next, okay, so after that, like you're experiencing that. So, I mean, where did you leave with that? I mean, obviously, besides the eye incident, you obviously had to enjoy it where you wanted to see more and do more. Is that fair?
yeah, absolutely. Oh, massive feedback. You can hear myself on your computer. But I met so many people, and there were a lot of teachers from different systems there. And through the glory of Facebook, was able to maintain contact with them and
Mm,
communicate and find out about classes and things. So from there, it was amazing. Like all these different weapons and ways to use them and different ways and different systems was just mind-boggling. So it sort of
yeah,
sparked an interest into this FMA journey of mine, which is still very, very early in its stages. I've been practicing what like 6 years, but I'm still very junior in my mind and
yeah, but
looking forward
you're
to
doing
learning a
it.
lot.
I mean, and that's what I think is fantastic. I mean, there's, I know there's female practitioners, but, obviously it's pretty much, let's be honest, it's pretty much a male dominated art, and all that. So I think it's fantastic what you're doing up there. And you have an elite group up there. I mean,
We're very
just,
lucky.
yeah.
And what I love about Vancouver and in Canada is that we don't play the politics game. Well, I mean, I'm sure there are some, but I haven't been exposed to it. And um,
Mm,
all the practitioners, all the gurus, they encourage learning from different systems, from different teachers. There's not a sort of that's my student, you must stick with my system. It's
mm.
very open and welcoming, and that's what also drew me into the community was just the welcoming, and I felt part of it right away.
It's
Um,
fantastic. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, because unfortunately there is that ugly side, and I concur with you because, just doing these interviews, you get really a back door to like what's really going on in the community,
for
particularly in the
sure.
US, Philippines. And the one area that I just don't hear anything about, and that's just all positive, is Vancouver. So whatever you guys are doing up there, keep doing it. 'Cause-
Yeah, it's funny. People come up and they're like, "This is crazy." You've got all these different like high-ranking gurus from other systems attending other guru systems, and like they'll be invited to demonstrate a difference in from their
Mm,
system to the one that's being taught. It's just very cool.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's again, I've just heard nothing but uh, great things up there, and yeah, and, and you will handle it. Yeah, yeah. I had no choice, Maestro John. Stuff that you get privy to that you really didn't want to know or didn't ask to know. um, so then, all right. So after that seminar, obviously fantastic experience and all that. What was kind of the next stopping point, or what did you do from there to, so to speak, get more of it?
well, Tom didn't teach consistent classes at the time, and Louie Lindo, Guro Louie, he had a group already established, so I was able to be invited to join them, and I've
Mm,
been with him pretty much since that day, consistently. And his it's very interesting because Tom is only Kali Silistrissimo,
yeah.
and Louis is learning as much as he can from as many different systems and focusing.
Mm,
He's learned from what six of the KI practitioner or the teachers, and now he's focusing on Decampo. So it's
yeah.
really interesting learning the different styles that he's teaching and seeing the passion that he has over the last 3+ decades, and he's still hungry to learn. And that's
Mm,
majorly influence my approach to Filipino martial arts because I want to learn as much as I can.
yeah.
I just need to. I'm sorry, good. I need to practice more. I know that, but don't we all?
But it's fantastic. Obviously, he has a mindset of always being a student and seeking more and trying to improve. It sounds like, and also trying to give the best he can to his students. So it
Hmm.
sounds like an incredible teacher,
Yes.
um, and all that. And that's Burns, like Burns like that, And obviously, there's others. I'm just mentioning Burton's name because he's the first one to come to mind. But always out there, like just seeing what's out there, seeking, never like just stopping, not to, to get information and all that. And I think that's neat. Guru Tom, thanks for jumping in. You got, this is awesome. You got James and Katia. You got some people there.
James let me stick when mine broke, and then I broke his stick, the the padded sticks. But I was able to remedy that. So
Okay. Good.
And
So
it's
then,
funny, whenever I travel, I try to see who's teaching what, where. And when I went to Hawaii, I was like, oh, I can train with Guru Burton Richardson. I've heard so much about him.
I
And
was supposed to.
he was not there.
He wasn't there?
No, but that's how I met Jay. So Jay took me in and taught the class, and he's an amazing person. I still remember that secret technique you taught me. I haven't told anybody, like I told you, but I
we'll have to
missed
get
it.
it out of him. We'll have to get it out of him. Jay, before the episode's over, you will have to divulge that secret. No, but that's funny because I remember when Jay was covering, I just remember seeing some of the posts, but it's funny. I was supposed to go to Hawaii just past August, but with COVID, I canceled. So rescheduling for next year. This wonderful situation we're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. I never thought. I always thought injuries would derail my journey. Like that. Little did I know it would be COVID. Yeah. Hey, Vico. Hey, thank you, Guru Vico. Julius. Yeah. Coming through with the. So fun. So then, all right. So it sounds like then because at that point, Master Tom not really having a group class per se, more doing the seminars with, I'm guessing, with Ken. You at that point you kind of made yourself a regular at Guro Louie's class.
Yep. And then learning more, meeting more people. I started taking Ed's classes, Ed Wong, and Guro Louie is one of his teachers, but Ed focuses a lot on modern Chamande and Silat and urban street survival. It's excellent, and I've incorporated a combination of the two into my own classes, but disguised. I don't call anything Filipino martial arts in Code 5. It's just the techniques that I teach and I drill. I just incorporate it, and then they don't realize they're learning some.
I got you. So then, so first, with Guro, again, those who don't know, Guro Louie up there in Vancouver. So right now, I know he's done a tremendous amount of stuff, but as it stands right now, the focus seems to be the compo. Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And he does KI review as well, but his focus on teaching is the compo. But because those of us who have been with him a while, he does review KI as much as he can, just so it doesn't get lost on us.
Okay. So tell us about it. For those who don't know, what you're doing in that class, what the class is like, the compo, and all that, which I think is a fascinating system, by the way. But
yeah, it's pretty cool because it's very simple. And for the last couple of months, we've been taking classes outside because of COVID, and we've had a good little group. And when it's nice weather, then we were able to get together and physically distance. So we're not doing any full contact stuff. That was always fun, of course, but he's changed the focus to really drilling in the basics and going over the techniques and making sure that we're able to put together our own combinations and do our own practice at home, because the weather's going to start getting pretty bad here in Vancouver. It is. It's raining really gross right now. But yeah, I mean, it's a very simple system, and you've got he wanted to mention to give credit to his masters, Maestro Tito Zavete of De Campo PPZ and Maestro Paolo Pagaling of De Campo Uno Dos Tres Original, and both were based in the Philippines. So he makes a pilgrimage he did like 2 or 3 times a year to visit his family and make sure he trains with them. And he also teaches, I believe it's the police or the military, in some of their tactics. So it's very cool. We're getting it straight. Like we're getting it as close to that
Yeah, you're getting,
lineage
yeah.
as possible.
And
Yeah.
so what's his relate now? I mean, just for the people who maybe don't know and all that, the system is based on 7 strikes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long range system. Not
Yeah.
the blocking is not really stressed, but rather and all
The
that.
strikes are also the blocks.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, and then you follow up with hit the hand, hit the head, and slash right through. So big, full power, using full body mechanic strikes,
Yeah.
and it's very simple. But once you practice and practice and practice, your speed gets deadly, and your power becomes
Yeah.
as strong as you can get. So it's very simple, and then you don't have to think as much. So that's why I've really taken to it in some of the basics that I teach my students. So
So in the class, I mean, pre-COVID, I know the current situation's put a strain on a lot of training and or what you can do as opposed to what you were doing. Pre-COVID, like what I mean, were you guys a lot of sparring? Was there sparring isolations, like hand hunting, or like was that what you guys any of that going on?
not I mean, it's not a particular hand hunting. It's a huge strike which can cover a lot of things. So you can hit the stick, you can hit the hand, you can hit the head, you can hit any of the targets, but really it's multi-purpose because that same strike can also be your block.
Oh, right. Okay, counteroffensive. Okay, sweet.
Mhm.
So and all that. So, what's again? I think it's fascinating you're doing this because I don't know. I think yeah, I think you're the only female I know. I'm sure in the motherland or some doing the combo. So I think that's phenomenal. So what now I'm guessing there can't be other many females other than you. A lot of pictures I see is kind of like you and bunch of guys, which is
Bunch
nothing
of
wrong with
guys.
that. But
Yeah,
so
there
go
there
ahead.
there's been some great females that I trained with in the earlier classes, that were Tom students as well. But things come and go and whatnot. But one of the inspirations that I had in Filipino martial arts, the female inspirations, was Peachy when she came
Mm.
to visit to congratulate, I guess, Tom on the passing of the torch, and so that those two, it was amazing watching those two together. But
Oh, upon the unfortunate death of Master Tony.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
so to see her move and like, wow, this is incredible.
Mm. They do
And
call
she's
her
so
the
nice.
matriarch. Yeah.
Yeah, so she was an inspiration to me as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah. No, I mean, as well as many other females in there. But we do got a question here. So before I continue with my insight into your class, all right, this is from Julius. Your base lineage is 1, 2, 3 De Campo. Just curious, do you favor double stick because JDC and then 1, 2, 3 favors single stick? Yet in your photo you have double stick.
in
That's the
that
first.
photo, yeah. So there is a series of double stick moves. It's a 6 count and a 9 count that Guro Louie has taught us, and it's I believe that's the PPZ. But in the photo, in my cover photo, I was just practicing Heaven Six and Heaven and Earth Sinawali on a tree, and that was because I'd watched a live video from Belton Lewis from Washington,
Bikini
Seattle area.
Turja, right?
Sorry,
Bikini Turja?
he's a bikini guy, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I stick my nose in where I can and learn. And if you ever watch Belton live, it's pretty impressive and awe inspiring. So he inspired me just to go out to the beach and find my favorite dead tree and beat away at it. So that's always I love the musicality of Sinawali and the Heaven and Earth
Yeah,
Six.
the variations and what have you. Sure.
Yeah.
And Julius' second question is, what other styles do you currently practice or maybe have practiced?
Yeah, I mean, well, currently, De Campo is what I'm sort of focusing on in terms of Filipino martial arts. Um, I do. I'm interested in learning more Pikiti. So when pre-COVID, I was taking classes with Maelstrom, and they're all Pikiti guys under Tuhan Loki Jorgensen, and I would do all of my full contact stuff with them. So it was
Okay.
different type of practice. It was a lot more fitness and conditioning oriented, and survive the beating kind of classes.
So we obviously helmets, gloves. You're doing the elbow pads.
Yeah, the more padding you wear, the more you're going to get beat. So just go with the minimum that you can, and take it. Like, I mean, I'm still fairly new, so that they don't absolutely thrash me, but yeah, I haven't broken anything yet so far.
Oh
Just my
no, yeah. Well, good
just
for
my
you for doing it. I mean, it's
pride and ego. Yeah, but they
no,
have every year. They are the ones that host the beat the crap out of cancer. So I've done 3 of those,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
they hosted the tribal gathering of the Dog Brothers last November. Was it November? I can't remember what month it was,
Okay.
but I was honored and fortunate to be able to be their medical person, because non-dogs can't go to those gatherings unless you're a candidate. But
Mm.
it was quite the honor to be able to see all that and to watch the camaraderie and to be
Yeah, yeah,
invited.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
no, no, here. Yeah,
that was so
it's,
that's I mean, in terms of styles, like I can't really say I'm learning Pikiti. I've taken a number of workshops and
mhm.
classes with a few instructors, but it is a style that does interest me because there's a lot of repetitive drilling, and it's a different rhythm. So I like it, but
Yeah.
I believe Pikiti's fairly political, so I'm just sort of staying out of that and
It's not fairly.
appreciating
It
appreciating
is.
techniques. Yeah.
And depending on the sanction you're with, but the one thing I can say about Sled Dog, Philip Galinas up there, from what I understand, he is not involved in any of it. So I hear there's just nothing but good things coming out of there. So
I'm
I
very
hear nothing
fortunate
but
to live in
good things.
Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. To
So
see him and to learn. He came in like before the actual gathering. He came and taught a workshop, and I was just
yeah, 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 yeah,
it's
yeah,
amazing. Amazing.
yeah.
Honestly, it was far too advanced for me to remember, but just to take part in trying to keep up was a lot of fun, and it was
Yeah, it's
very
your first
very
one. I mean, it happens. We all been there. I mean, trust me.
yeah.
You're just like you go there and you're overwhelmed and you're trying to catch up. It's just we all been there. Brian's got a question. Does your system have any practical fighting drills with the bolo?
No, well, DeCampo?
I
No,
think
we're
he's
just
asking in regards to Campo, correct?
yeah. No, not that I've been introduced to.
Yeah, no.
Um, like we practice with stick, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when we were indoors, we were practicing a few drills with knife. Um, but he's keeping it very simple with
Yeah.
stick. And then we've seen like Louis posts videos of his masters, and they've got swords and things, but and demonstrating. But what
Hmm.
we're teaching is I'm happy with the basics, because it is overwhelming for a. I mean, I'm not a beginner, but I've still considered myself novice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, and the compo, from what I understand, obviously I know they do edge, but I think it is. I mean, for the most part, I've seen and read about and heard from various Lameco people. I mean, it is largely a stick system. So,
Mhm.
okay, so let's go because obviously I know you're training with them. So are we correct then? For the most part, since that your first exposure to Master Tom, that first seminar, it's pretty much been I mean, I know you've done our stuff, but primarily then Guro Louie and the compo. I mean, as far as regularity and consistency.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I know you're dabbling in other stuff here and there, but okay. So now, does he have it just for the folks? Is there a ranking system, or I mean, how does it work out if somebody, I guess, were interested in that?
No, Guro Louie is not interested at all in ranks. Yeah.
Okay.
So and DeCampo, I don't believe they're I don't actually I will ask that of him, and I can get back to you. But
Yeah, no worries, no worries. I'm just curious because I know, like, they do it. It's kind of a unique structure, like we were talking about the other day. They do like a grade school as far as the
well,
the
that's
levels.
curriculum.
Yeah, if I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
mistaken.
separate curriculum. So it's
Yeah,
not like
elementary, right?
yeah, or primary, college strikes. Yeah.
Yeah, which
High
is kind of
school.
neat.
Yeah. But that's not a designation of the students in terms of where their ranking is. It's just this
It's
is
more this curriculum.
the curriculum. Yeah.
Okay. So at any given time you're in the class, are you seeing like different pieces of those levels now and then?
Yeah. I mean, and it's funny because it's sometimes I have to go, okay, so I've got a whole entire notes on my thing. I'm like, wait, and I'll put the notes in to try to remember because you've got, I mean, first off, you've got the campo original, the primary lessons, and then you've got group 1, which had 7 basic strikes. Okay. And they're also blocks. And then you've got group 2, which is the alphabeto, which is kind of like a top part of a triangle or a teepee. And then group 3 is your horizontal or the levelado. So just back.
Okay.
Right? And then group 4 is cerrada redonda. So it's diagonal up and then around.
Oh, diagonal up and then coming circuit. Okay.
Yeah. And then group 5 is the abierto redondo. So you go from closed low position to high.
And then circle. Okay.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah. And then group 6 is the de campo 1, 2, 3. So which is like a cerrada or abierta with a redonda and a slash.
Okay.
And then the group 7 is your double redonda with your cerrada and abierta.
Okay. No, awesome. Wow.
It's
Thank
cool.
you for sharing it with us. That was interesting.
Yeah.
So
but that's just the primary lesson and those groups. And then you've got the de campo PPZ abecedario. So and they've got their 7 basic strikes. So yeah, and then you can follow it up with 1, 2, 3 combos. That's what uno, dos, tres.
Okay.
So there's with very basic strikes, there's a lot of material that you can create, mix and match, and add on, and do your own carenza.
Okay. So then, so what's his affiliate? Is he affiliated with the grandson currently?
So I mean he goes and he trains with the grandson, but it's the PPZ. So I'm just going to read this notes here. It's PPZ is Tito's father's paterno pisavete. So PPZ or PPZ for y'all Americans. And he's an early student. Sorry, I'm going to get in trouble now, aren't I? It's Z in Canada, it's Z in America. But so he was an early student of the DC founder, GM Jose Caballero.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, what was your question again?
No. I just wonder if he was actually continuing to learn or any affiliation with the grandson, because I know the grandson has put out some programs, online programs.
Yep, and Guro is following those programs, and then he'll in our private group or secret group, he'll be posting the videos that the grandson sends him and says, okay, this is, watch this, and it'll be neat. I'll be like watching, and I gotta slow it down.
Yeah.
It's very fast, and even when it's at half speed, I'm like, I still gotta watch it slow.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
but
No,
it's
it's a good
pretty
idea.
neat. Like,
Yeah, one of my friends is doing it and he enjoys it. Like I think I'm thinking he's like the first elementary level, the 7 strikes and all that. But I mean, thus far, he likes it. I mean, I have an interest. I just got like I was telling you the other day. I just got too much stuff.
I
It's just
hear
like
ya.
taking on like one more system and top of these interviews, and it's just yeah, it's just no, not a good idea. Yeah, Julius Edgar. Yeah, PJ. Yeah, sadly. So then, so now with so pre-COVID, obviously you guys, there was a lot of freedom for you guys to really explore and do anything. What I'm guessing, and now with the COVID situation, you're saying it's more. Is he doing more drilling? I mean, you guys are still meeting. I mean, correct?
Up until last week, the weather's really crappy right now,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah. So before we were training in a warehouse, but because of COVID, like we don't have access to that warehouse at the moment, and yeah, it's pretty grassroots our practice. So
Yeah.
no fancy gyms, no we go to places that there's not a lot of prying eyes.
Mm, I know this mess. I'm telling you, man. Like, when is it gonna? Like,
No.
I tell you, I know. And I just feel for teachers and us, man, because it's just like we're just getting like somewhat hammered. I mean, it could be worse, of course. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
plus, okay. So you've done a lot of like I've seen a lot of your pictures and all that. And if you have them, I mean, by all means, you can show them this. But just incredible, like some of the seminars you've been to and some of the instructors you've been exposed to. Let's hear it.
Oh man. It's funny. I was trying to find my resume and I just can't find it right now. But
It's okay.
so some of my early oh let's see here. This one was taking at another Tom seminar, but there's some people that I highly respect in there. So
So who we got?
there's oopsie, how come I can't, there we go. There's Brent Matsuda, Toby Reyes. Now Toby is a KI guy as well, but from a different instructor. There's
Hmm.
me, and Matt he's a stunt man in Vancouver, and he's one of my training partners. When I can't make it to class, we'll
Okay.
get up and train. And then there's Ed Wong, right?
Everyone. Okay. Okay.
Can't even see, but yeah. So that's a group of solids that I got to show you this one. I do judo as well, so this is kind of funny.
Oh my gosh. Incoming. No, no.
Yeah.
What because you've been at like the seminars with Guru Dan, Burton. Who we got here?
Well, Leo Gahe.
Leo guy. Hey,
Yeah, when he came up.
where did he come? Which school?
What school?
Yeah.
He came up through Maelstrom, and oh shoot, what are you doing, buddy? You can't. Sorry.
Did Master? Oh, did Tuan Phil have him?
Loki, Tuhan Loki Jorgensen. What are you? Sorry, my dog he just destroyed this ball. There's a reflective thing on the inside, and he just destroyed it. Well, see, and now you can play with it. So it's like, what is that thing bouncing around?
Oh boy.
Yeah, so he was brought in from by Tuhon Loki Jorgensen,
Okay,
and
so that okay. I figured
yeah,
as much one of the two. Okay, and then you've also had
Tuhon Phil is on the other side. He's in Eastern Canada. He's in
okay,
like
he's on okay, and then
yeah,
you got a picture there
yeah.
about I obviously grew Dan, also Sunny. I for the
This is
life of me I can't recall her
Loki.
name. Yeah, okay.
Who?
Sunny Sunny Umpad's
Oh, Terry Joven. Yeah.
no, he's the multi-stock
Oh,
dig.
so you're talking. Oh, yeah. Maya Soderholm.
Yeah,
So I was teaching. I was invited by the HEMA, so that's the Historical European Martial Arts Community.
Yeah.
I was invited by the HEMA community to present some Filipino martial arts stuff, but because I am still humbly such a novice, I asked Guro Louie to come along and help, and then I also asked Guru Brent Matsuda. So Brent is more of a Jeet Kune Do guy,
JD,
but
okay.
yeah, so Brent and I would teach street self defense to civilians. So on one of them, I had Guru Louie help me. I did the fitness warm up, and then Guru Louie taught an intro to FMA, and we just called it intro to FMA. Didn't get into
Sure,
any
yeah,
specifics
make it easy.
because
Yeah.
they don't know. And with Brent's, we taught a self defense for the HEMA community. So Maya, because as instructors we were able to access all the other seminars, and Maya was teaching.
Mm.
So we got to go to hers, and that was incredible. Yeah.
So can you let's let the folks hear about this, because I think it's really neat that you got around. You're seeing these different systems, all that, because you're kind of by California and
Yeah.
all that. And there's some unique things in that system. Just watching old videos of Sunny Pod and again Maya, like what was
The
like
walking,
what's that?
just walking drills.
Yeah,
It,
it's
it's
just
incredible. Totally different.
the footwork is like obviously, but I've never seen footwork like that. And I mean,
Mhm.
it's just different. So I mean, and even the way they're moving while they're walking, it's kind of just it's. I mean, it looks neat, you know.
Yeah.
But
I remember when her name came up because she's also one of Ed's teachers, and Ed highly recommended that I attend that workshop, and I don't regret it. It's again amazing, and she's also written a number of books as well. So
I just found that out too, like two or three, and yeah. She's somebody I'm gonna try to get on here.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's yeah. But and then obviously grew Burton when he came to Seattle.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, you saw him, which
yeah.
I can tell you about. So what did he do? So what for the street programs did he do?
Uh, Burton.
Yeah, grew
Yeah,
Burton. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it was it's pretty neat because of course Jarlo was there, so whenever Jarlo is
yeah.
there, it's going to be fun. but um but yeah, I mean it was a bit of everything that he teaches. It wasn't like a, a strict curriculum because it was a workshop, so
Yeah.
so it wasn't highly specialized,
Yeah,
but
no, he likes. Yeah, he'll usually show like knife defense for the street, or he'll do maybe BJJ for the street, or I mean,
yeah,
he'll like
he
four
went yeah, a
components.
couple of like different aspects
Yeah,
of it, so it was
yeah,
sort of like a taste of Burton.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah. That's great. Yeah. Oh, we got a couple more questions. From Brian, do you have any desire to become a full instructor in the system you're currently in?
not at the moment. I have a desire to be as good of a student as I can be first.
Yeah, be the best
Um,
version of you and see what comes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and to do the system justice in the parts of it that I use for my own classes. And when I say my own classes, I mean we'll get into later what I'm teaching and
Hmm.
stuff. But I'm sort of keeping the stuff that I teach my own unique ability to teach something that not a lot of people can teach. And then me as a student, whether it's in dance or Filipino martial arts, I prefer to stay a student, and there's less pressure on me. So
No, good answer. No, nothing wrong with that. Julius, if it's Phil Galinas, yes, Julius, it was definitely Tuhan Galinas that we were mentioning. Ask him about Neravidikya. Yeah, I read about that guy. Yeah, wow. All right, so obviously, let's go into. Okay, you got a couple businesses going on and all that. Let's get into the kettlebell and what and how maybe there's influences your FMA or your FMA influences it or that whole bit.
so I was first introduced to kettlebells in 2005, and it was an instructor who read about me. I was in a local newspaper, and he said, kettlebells would really be beneficial to your business. Like, you should look into it. So I invited him to come and teach a workshop to my clients, and I just sat back and took it. And I was like, "Oh, this is amazing! Very cool." I
Yeah.
asked him more, and he's like, "Well, I'm not teaching any classes. I just took it for my own thing." And he was a police officer, so he teaches some of his police students and whatnot, but didn't have a regularly published class. So he just lent me an 8 kilo bell and a 16 kilo bell and said, "Here, like, I'll show you some basic stuff and then go and practice with it." So that was really nice of him. And then he said, "You should really think about getting your certification." So the following year, I got my RKC, my Russian Kettlebell Challenge certification in Minnesota. And so began my journey in 2006. And I
Wow.
tried,
Oh, that's a while ago. Okay.
yeah, well, I tried really hard to promote kettlebells in Vancouver and teach it. I got
Good
shut
stuff.
down by every gym. None
Yeah,
of the
I
gyms
like
that
them.
we teach
Yeah.
didn't know. They're like, "What is this thing?" Like, we'll have to show our insurance company and see if they'll accept it. And they said, "You can train with it, but you're not allowed to teach with it," because it was so unknown back then. Like, I was the third instructor in Vancouver. So flash forward to today, and it's everywhere on the internet, everything.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
crazy.
no, yeah. I like them. I mean,
Yeah,
for lunges, like, yeah, Brian agreed. They're excellent for condition. Yeah, I mean, I like them. I mean, that is,
yeah.
the Indian clubs and all that,
So if anybody knows hardstyle kettlebells, which is like the RKC system, or I was grandfathered into the Strong First family in terms of certifications, and I've let those certifications lapse by now because I think I kind of know what I'm doing.
Mhm.
2010, I was introduced to kettlebell sport. So if you ever seen different kinds of kettlebells, the ones that are cast iron, they're black, they're different sizes for all the different weights.
Correct.
Kettlebell sport, those are the stainless steel ones. Come on over here, bud. Come over here. Those are the stainless steel ones that they're all the same size, and they're different colors. So the size doesn't change your biomechanics when you move up from a low
Mhm.
weight to a heavier weight. Your biomechanics stay the same. And the name of that game is strength endurance
Okay.
versus power strength with kettlebell hardstyle, the cast iron. And I love them both. You can't ask me to choose one or the other because it just depends on what your goals are. So depending on my clients, I mean, it's easier to sell somebody to train in hardstyle kettlebells for the fitness and conditioning aspect. That translates a lot more. But if you want a challenge of your mental fortitude, then give kettlebell sport a try, because nothing like being under the bells for 10 minutes without putting them down. That tests who you really are. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, depending on the weight, man.
I'm straight female, Pavel, Satsuline. What?
Julius. Oh my
Drink
God.
vodka and pickle
The
juice.
guy is so funny. I love that guy. But so now, as far as before we get into uh, the other business, what do you like as far as in relation to FMA, and like what could you tell some of the folks here the benefits of maybe incorporating them, for making I don't know, perhaps more explosive movements in your FMA training, or whatever benefits that you have seen that got from them.
It's great for overall fitness conditioning. I
Mhm.
find a lot of times going to different seminars, and especially historical European martial arts. And I was trying to teach a very, very basic warm up to this group, and they couldn't keep up. And so I had to dumb it down a lot. But having kettlebells as an implement really teaches you a lot about your biomechanics and how to use your whole body at once, instead of just, you see, I mean, beginners, if you ask them to strike, they're just going to use their hand and their arm.
No, I know what you mean. They're not
And
really
so to be
working
able to use your
through. Yeah.
core and incorporate your whole body to make that strike
Mm,
that much more powerful. And then to see the aha moment from them. And it's like, yeah, well, if you work kettlebells, you're going to get that, you're going to get strong from the inside.
yeah.
So, and it helps to reduce injuries. So you're getting strong from the inside out, you're strengthening all your joints, your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists become more conditioned to having that kind of
Mm,
weight. Whereas if you did 1,000 reps with a stick, all of a sudden you get tendonitis because you haven't been practicing or you don't
I
have the
know.
base of fitness. So
Yeah, my shoulder once in a while. I wonder why it hurts while swinging a metal rod for like, which I gotta be careful, man. I know. I gotta listen to this because I'm like, you're talking to that person who's gonna basically throw their permanently throw their arm out one day. Yeah, maybe you can give me some stuff if you don't mind. I just I'll have to check out some of your videos just so
well,
I don't end up with casualty. You know.
Ed and I created a curriculum for a workshop, and we called it kettlebell sudden violence. So it was drilling with the kettlebell moves and then
Mm,
immediately translating that to Filipino martial arts or a Salat Chamande move, and it was just devastating. You can once you drill, like let's say you do 10 power swings, and all of a sudden you try to do an upwards X, then it's like you your power comes from within as opposed to just having that implement and trying to hit something with it. So
So the motion to help with your upper X, are you saying taking the club and going like this, kind of throwing it up?
kettlebell, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
the
mean the
kettlebell.
kettlebell swing,
Oh, the swing. Okay, okay.
yeah, your kettlebell swing. So it's just you're grounding with your legs and your feet to the floor,
I
but
got you. I
it's
got you.
your
Okay,
back and your hips and your glutes.
okay. All right. I do those. I played around with. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
but a power swing. So if you're imagining a two-handed swing,
Mm,
and you've got a fairly medium to heavy size bell, and then you get your partner to stand off to the side, and when you bring that bell up to this height, they slam it down as hard as they can, and you've got to control the downswing.
I definitely have not done that.
Yeah, it's amazing. So it teaches you how to use your core to break that movement, but then when you bring it back up using your posterior chain, so you're using stuff that you don't think is associated with Filipino martial arts because it's
No,
all like
yeah, no, just for the.
holding.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, the
But
way you're explaining it.
if you use that and you're using your whole body to come up, because I find that my upward X is quite weak. So, I mean, everybody wants to chop down, but coming up,
No, it's right now coming up. It's natural, right? You want to just yeah.
yeah.
I mean, no, agreed. Yeah. Wow. And then that's fantastic. So let's get into the classes you teach. So basically, just for the folks who are listening, you ever go? I mean, obviously, this is kind of pre-COVID because with the
Yeah.
miserable situation we're in now, nobody's really doing a lot of anything except online, unfortunately.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
pre-COVID, you had some students. What were you bringing to them? What was it about?
Well,
Your
I mean,
class.
Coach Fitness. So that's my business.
Code 5.
Code 5 Fitness. So you'll see that it's got a shield, which is my background is in policing. Um, the axes are the firefighting because that's what I've done. These knives also not only for the Filipino martial arts, but it was also for military because I was teaching military, and of course my maple leaf and the kettlebell.
Maple Leaf, yeah.
Yeah, but my it started because I was teaching fitness classes and to police candidates, so applicants that wanted to become police officers, they'd have to run through an obstacle course, and I had that obstacle course set up and run them through it and teach them proper form, technique, biomechanics, posture, breathing, and all that. And then my kettlebell side, of course. And what I found in teaching conditioning classes that were helping the police fitness classes was the striking and movements in Filipino martial arts to help translate those movements into practical ways to I don't want to call it defensive tactics, but
Mm,
it's some basic things like I don't want to teach them complex techniques. I want to teach them concepts. So the concept of striking, whether you've got your expandable metal baton or your pen or your phone or your flashlight or your remote control.
If you're sitting on a couch and somebody breaks in,
the movement is the same. The downward X is the same, and how you need to use your body to strike remains the same, and it can only get better. Doesn't matter what you're holding, even if you're empty-handed, you've got your hammer fist, right?
Blunt. I mean, blunt weapon's a blunt weapon.
So it's a concept as opposed to techniques and like, well, do I hold the remote control at the 30-degree angle or the 45-degree angle? So
Dos manos.
Yeah. So and again, like especially with a lot of the women that come to me, they're just used to the patty cake, and like, no,
they're gonna resort to gross. I mean, what is because in panic mode, so they're gonna get wide. They're gonna get It's just
So I mean, when I get them used to, well, pre-COVID, got them used to getting into their face. So I'd have them throw on the full face helmets, and then
good, you do that with them. Oh, that's fantastic.
Make them so empty-handed. They just had to withstand being lightly beaten with other students that had boxing gloves on or focus mitts, and just get that feeling. It's stress inoculation and get the feeling of being mentally in the game.
Believer in that. If you don't have stress inoculation in your training, how are you going to deal with it out there? No, I'm totally a huge fan. It is so necessary.
Yeah.
If you're training realistic self-defense, and if you don't have that ingredient in there and put in gradual increments based on how long they've been there and all that, I think it's a huge piece missing.
Yeah. So I'd everybody do that, and it's good because for some it can be scary, and
have they never done that?
In some of the self-defense classes, I mean, we didn't do that in the self-defense classes, but in some of the self-defense classes I taught with Brent, we would make sure that everybody knew that you're in a safe space and we're going to be doing stuff that might be uncomfortable. And if there are any triggers for anybody, then just, step back, let us know what's happening, and we'll work through it.
Yeah.
And it does bring up triggers of PTSD and
God forbid they were something traumatic in the past,
Yeah. So, and you want to make sure that they are taken care of. And this would happen to one girl, and she's like, she took a few minutes, she just calmed herself down. She's like, no, I want to get back into this. Like, because we were doing a move that actually happened to her. Like, so she was basically lifted up and transported to a vehicle. And we were practicing that
somewhere else because they couldn't do what they wanted to do there.
Yeah. And she was a small frame. And so, yeah. But, she fought through it, and she got through, and we were really proud of her.
Yeah. That's terrible. Yeah. So what's a typical, all right, so you kind of described that. So I know you mentioned, you're more on the conceptual basis as far as what you're giving them there. What systems are you, not so much technique oriented? I know like you mentioned, you're coming more conceptually, but what systems are you pulling from, generally speaking?
Oh, DeCampo, for sure. 100% DeCampo. Well, I mean, 75%, but also a lot of the C-Lot and Chimande. So hang on a sec.
That's funny.
Yeah, he wants attention now, so he's like, squeak, squeak, squeak. Listen to me. But yeah, because and kettlebells as well, because we have a move that I drill into them, and it was started with the Turkish get up. So if you're familiar with the kettlebell Turkish get up, it's you're holding a kettlebell and you're able to get up off the floor, stand up, and get back down. And then the transition for that is a no hands get up, and I was using that for my Army clients, because they would need to have, like, let's say they were in a supine position and they had their rifles, but they needed to get up, and you can't just throw your rifle down so you can stand up with your hand.
Right.
So I had to be able to.
Mr. Mugger, can you put my rifle?
Yeah, so they had to be able to get up using only their legs, and that's that's perfect for SWAT
Mm.
based movements.
Oh, that's
And
fantastic. Right
yeah,
on. Right on.
so that's cool. I mean, and it was stuff that I already knew, and it just like, hey, this translates perfectly. But um, seeing the curriculum that Ed put together
Mhm.
with his hammers clubs and spikes,
Yeah.
it's really good for my clients because again, it's concept based. So like just because you don't have a fancy tool, you can still use your elbow. You can
Yeah, I
still
mean,
use,
right. I mean, you're
yeah,
right. I mean, you're gonna use what you got. I mean, for sure.
yeah.
So you're pulling from the compo, Chamandi, anywhere else?
So and well, judo, but
Judo. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's judo and jujitsu. My first love is judo, and then I got introduced to jujitsu for the groundwork aspect of it.
Mm.
So that was fun. And my coach is Todd Smith, so he was Canada's first black belt from Hoist Gracie, and
Oh. Okay. Okay.
he put in a lot of time to earn that black belt. It wasn't one of
Oh
those.
yeah. Yeah. It's
No,
10
I mean
years.
Hoist, no McDojo. He was a black belt. He was a brown belt for about 9 or 10 years before
Mm.
Hoist gave him his black. So
Yeah. Oh, that's no, that's great. Um. So again, what's the plan? I mean, I know with this mess. So when things got, hopefully they end soon, very
yeah,
soon. The plan is to get your class going again and what have you.
yeah. I've started the police stuff because the obstacle course we're able to run each person through one at a time, and
Mm,
we're not doing the hand to hand stuff right now in the police
yeah,
fitness,
yeah.
but at least we can get the obstacle course going. Kettlebell's not yet because I don't have a venue, and the next one will be personal safety workshops because we're experiencing an increased spike in violent crime in Canada, in Vancouver at least. I can't speak for all of Canada, but it's getting pretty bad,
Oh,
and
I know.
I'm
Sorry
getting
to hear
calls
that.
every week. Oh, you know, I had one girl call me. I need you to teach me how to use a knife. And I said, I'm not going to do that. And I didn't know her. I didn't came from a block number. I didn't know who she was. I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
So it turns out that one of those guys that works at the shops that I get a lot of my equipment, weapons and stuff
Mm-hmm.
at, he gave her my contact information and said,
Oh,
well,
just out of being okay. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking and I said, you know, this is what I do. If anybody is looking for self-defense or self-protection, then let me know. And then she calls up, oh, I want to know how to use a knife. I'm like, hey, stand back. Let's just
Yeah.
talk about this.
If
Why?
you right, something happens, now you're on the
Well, you know,
hook, liability. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
she did.
Yeah.
She did. And I said, why do you, where did you hear about me? And why do
Yeah.
you want to know? Why you jump to knife? Like what usually they just say, I want some self-defense, please. But
Mm,
she went right in with a knife. So I asked why. And basically she had survived an attempted robbery in California, purse snatching. And the guy never got it, but
mm,
she remembered that her mom had given her a pocket knife and she had it in her pocket and was able to get it out, deploy it, and slash the guy and get away with her purse. And said, okay, well, you know what? Regardless of whatever you think you know or you don't know, you did right. It worked. And so your decision to do whatever you did was right.
yeah,
So
you got home. She
those
got
things
home.
are very fluid and you can't follow a set operating procedure for knife defense or any kind of defense.
Yeah.
It's just is what it is. So but then she's like, I want to learn how to use it more. I said, well, I will not, and I don't know anybody that will teach anyone off the street.
Yeah, without like,
Yeah,
obviously doing background check or, just, venting them and what have you. And not only that, God forbid if they were, go out there and use it and it goes to court and they ask, well, where'd you learn this from? Well, I took classes. Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
just, yeah,
Yeah. But and she came from a good place, and she
yeah.
even offered. She's like, look, like I said, I have done self protection seminars, self defense seminars, but right
Mm,
now I don't have a venue, so we're kind of like on standby. And she's like, well, I've got a couple friends that own gyms, so let's see if you don't mind, I can ask them. I'm like, sure, go ahead. And she's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we can get everybody to agree to criminal record checks. And she's offering this. I mean, that's sort of standard for our industry up here.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
knew she was legit, and I could say, you know what, like I feel comfortable offering a personal safety course. I don't even want to call it self-defense because defense has a lot of,
Yeah. I think your
yeah.
choice of words there, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people immediately go to self-defense, but it's like first you need to learn self-protection. And
Yeah.
then once you learn stuff, then you can use self-defense techniques, but I
Yeah.
prefer the umbrella of personal safety and take it from there. So we're looking at that. And that way I get to teach concepts and not
Yeah.
technique.
See, I think you're on something, and this, not to jump off. I mean, it's still FMA related. I firmly believe, and again, I talk about. I'm not talking about somebody like you who's obviously, very capable. I mean, you're proactive in training and health and all that thing. But the average woman, I firmly believe, their self-defense, what do you call it, self-defense workshop, whatever adjectives you want to use in terms. But I believe it. Women's self-defense is weaponized. Because
Yeah.
without training, how are they going to overcome and all that? To me, if it's not weaponized, I just think it's like, in other words, like this is what kind of bugs me. And I know they have good intentions. I really do. And I'm not knocking the industry or anybody in particular. But you'll see these self-defense things, and I'll see them online, and they're showing a woman and they're showing them elbowing, knee, and all that. And I'm not saying that's not good stuff, but they've never done this before. They're not going to practice it. They're going to go home and just do that. I mean, to me, it's got to be.
What is that, wrist lock?
I mean, it's got to be weaponized. Like, okay, here's the biggest thing. Know where it is so you can pull it out. God forbid, and like because they're just not. Without training or longevity of training, like you or for instance, for example, I just think it's going to be really unrealistic that they're going to capably really defend themselves without a weapon. I mean, what your thoughts? Do you think I'm like
Well, that's
completely
why
wrong?
yeah, that's why in a seminar, it starts with awareness, situational awareness,
Yeah,
and
right. I mean, obviously
most
proximity.
people
Don't
just
let
want to
anybody get
know it. Yeah,
close, and
but also like, being aware of the proximity because Canada, we're really polite and we don't want to express to somebody that we're uncomfortable with maybe their distance to us because you don't want to offend them or
yeah, the whole offending thing. I know.
yes,
It's
and that's what predators take advantage of, right?
yeah.
So that's a big part of the self-protection aspect of it. Like protect yourself first. Like don't put yourself in that situation
No, agreed.
where
Like
yeah, and then being able to move offline. Like there's nothing
no,
wrong with stepping back and then just putting yourself in a position where hey, you know what? Like get your hands out of your pockets and put them somewhere where you're able to come
like
up quickly.
like what I tell like I totally like everything you're saying. Like I totally agree with you. Like it's common sense, common sense, self
But
defense.
a lot of people
It's
don't have
like
that sense
it's like
to the groin. Yeah.
yeah, it's like if somebody's coming up to you, like if they're coming up to you to ask you what time it is, like you can be
Hit him in the
polite.
groin. Right?
But yeah, I know. You can be
Master
polite
style.
while backing up and saying, "Hey, it's
Yeah.
10%." But at least you're expanding that distance, so they're not gaining proximity on you to do what they want to do. I mean, and I totally with you, like stuff like that.
Bladed
And
stance.
it just.
Yeah. I mean, the things that are natural for me in my training, it's sort of like, blade your stance, put your strong side back.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you know,
I mean, take targeting away. I mean,
yeah. So
I
that's
totally
sort
think.
of like that's just sort of the aspect of it. And then it's learning grounding.
Yeah,
So some of the first things we do when we were able to touch each other would be like start pushing it, just push, just figure out like how much of your balance do you have and where is it, and then start grabbing an arm and hand and then start pushing
mm,
with that arm and hand just so they get a feel of their balance and center of gravity,
yeah,
and then correct it, and then it escalates from there. But if
yeah.
you don't, I'm not going to teach anybody a complicated technique, even if it's a simple technique, if they don't understand their basic biomechanics and how it works.
They're not going to do it. They're not going to have consequence. It's not
Yeah.
going to have consequence. In other words, I don't. Okay, so you at these workshops, you give them elbows and knees. A, they're not going to practice it because they're not going to remember it. You can't practice what you don't remember. So
Yeah.
that's out the window. They're just not going to do it. You know what I mean? They're going to go there because maybe they were talked into it by a friend and whatever. But
No
you're
TCW.
right. And if they do attempt it, they're not going to generate enough power, consequential to stop or like that. To me, it's weapon. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like the preliminary stuff, like distance, proximity. Don't let anybody get that close to you. Back up while you're answering a question. This way, you know if they failed, like integrity test, because they're getting too close. They should have satisfied their query.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But to me, after that, man, it's weapon.
So now let's talk about weapon. You're in the United States. I'm in Canada. Our rules are much stricter. And to answer Brian's question, no, there is no CCW in Canada.
What's that? What's CCW?
Concealed weapon. Yeah, like a concealed weapon.
Okay,
like,
okay. I'm shortening. Oh my God, Julian. No, where's our phone? No. Yeah, right. It's right from back in the day. It's been, yeah. Concealed. Yeah.
No mercy. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but so and that's the other question I get a lot is like, well, I've got pepper spray. I'm like, and then my eyes roll to the back of my head and around in circles a few times.
It's gonna bomb their purse and they're gonna have to dig their tent. I know.
Yeah, and then so I have to debunk using any type of aerosolized weapon because your boyfriend got it for you. Did you try it on him first? Because that did you try it on yourself? Because chances are you're going to be like sucking it back yourself too. So it's I try to discourage them. I mean, I first I stifle my laughter, and then I try to discourage them from carrying that because bear spray, pepper spray, mace, all that stuff you can buy and legally have on your possession. But the minute you use it against a person, you can be charged with assault with a weapon. So in Canada.
Wow. I know some states here are definitely more difficult and challenging. Like, in other words, like we're in the liberal state. I'm in Connecticut, liberal state. So, in other words, let's just say I was held up, okay, for whatever reason. And let's just say I disarmed the guy and all that, and I took the knife away in a perfect day. If I want to go use it on that guy and all that, I could be held liable because they're gonna say, like, well, why don't you just go? You know what I mean? But if it's in your house, he breaks in, that changes. Then the parameters change. Now, if it's in Texas, you can do whatever you want. Texas is a different animal as far as.
That was a big eye opener for me. I spent 2 weeks in Kilgore in Eastern Texas and the land of oil, football, and Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, down there, they break in your house, you can put 10 rounds in them and you're good. Connecticut, they're going to say why you put 9 more in them. Why didn't the first one wasn't in their leg, or you know what I mean? Roger, hey, Guru Roger, she is in Vancouver. Guru Roger. Yeah, sorry guys, CC, I should have known that. Duh on me. Obviously, carry concealed weapon. I don't know, slow day.
I have a pistol. I have a 9mm pistol, which I can only keep it in my house in a locked safe, unloaded. And if I want to go to the range, because I'm just not going to go walk around the streets with it, not allowed to. Yeah. If I want to go to the range, it has to be in a locked, so that it has to be trigger locked in a locked container in my locked trunk or out of sight. Directly, the most direct route to the range. So it's very strict, and we have to we go under background checks and criminal record checks and everything just to get the license. And they run background checks, or they run a record check on us like every 24 hours. So it's extremely extremely
So it kind of sounds like a lot like our state, Hey, Maestro Renee, thank you. It's again, like here, it's like just different states. Wow, they come up. Socialism. Yeah, I mean, depending on who gets elected, not to get
Well,
political.
yeah, we're liberal right now. Federally, we've got Justin Trudeau and his liberals, and I don't think they're gonna. If they have an election, he's not gonna be there anymore.
Well, good on you guys, because I don't know what is going heck is going to happen with us.
So, I'm just gonna
um,
stand down from that one.
yeah, yeah. Southwest Open, yeah, that's for sure, Brian. Yeah, yeah,
In,
that's
in
kind
terms
of
in terms
truth
of
is.
teaching, you have any questions? I think yeah, you talking America, America.
Yeah. So okay, that was excellent. Thank you for sharing all that.
Yeah.
Let's get into what's your future goals? What I mean, again, I know this is kind of putting a kibosh on a lot of things, but future goals for you as a practitioner and future goals for your business. What say you?
Just keep on keeping on. I mean, once we get more um seminars and stuff, once we're allowed to travel. Right now our land borders are closed, so I can't drive over to Washington State and hang out with my homies there. You could fly, but you need to have a decent reason for it. But then there's the quarantine aspects and everything. So
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm just gonna hunker down right now and practice, and whenever I can get some lessons in, I can. It's funny. I took a lesson with Mandala Rob Pagan of the Pikiti Tirsha. He's based in California. He's got a great teaching style. So it was kind of neat, and a couple of little aha moments for moves that I've done before. But it was just the way he worded it, and the
Mm,
way that I was able to translate that into my own movements
mm,
was amazing. So I'm looking forward to trying to see who's offering what online, what I can reasonably afford in my budget, and practice some more.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
it's
what
good.
I'd
Yeah,
like to do.
that's kind of what we're all. I'm teaching like I still got my privates. I have to meet them individually. I tell them, hey, look, if you want to wear a mask, no worries.
Mhm.
Go ahead. So, all my privates came back. I actually picked up a few more, but it's tough. I mean, my group class, we're doing it, but we're masked up. You know what I mean? It's weird, but
Yeah,
it's better than not meeting or not doing anything.
yeah,
It's definitely not like it was. I mean, but I'm just hoping that this goes away like by end of beginning of next year. I can't imagine that this is gonna stick around. God, I hope not.
Well, I mean, and unfortunately, this is where the politics come in. I mean, if you look at how Canada, regardless of our politics, like our case loads per population is a lot lower than the Americans, and
Mm,
uh, it's I don't even if we're allowed to move freer, I don't know if they're gonna let those borders open as quickly as we'd like. So it's
I know.
we're just gonna
I
have
tell
to
you,
see.
I'm like I was telling you the other day, we were doing a test run. I mean, my goal. I mean, it's like I have a few places like where I'm going. It's just a question of when. And Vancouver, definitely, because I definitely want to. I want to go before Master Tom, and you know Kenneth, and all that. So definitely, it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Just don't know when due to this mess.
we'll put
Obviously, if you're up there, they need to. We'll have to clash sticks or whatever. When it happens.
you know
Um,
it.
Trish beat me up.
No, it didn't. No, I was just taking pictures. I swear. I'm known for that. I will often like I like to take video when with permission, of course, but
Yeah.
I find video does help me a lot in being able to review the material learned.
Oh my God. I
So
absolutely. No, you should. Good for you. You should. So you can look back and see, if you had gaps or kind of what went on or yeah.
yeah,
Guru Roger. Yes. Her teacher, Guru Roger, is actually Guru Louie. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Brian. Guru's
great.
Deacons. That was very nice of you, Brian. Thank you. um, But well, this has been great. We're going. We went over a little, but it was great stuff. No worries there. And
Everyone was very kind.
oh my God, no! I thank you so much for coming on. Hopefully, we didn't take too much time from your Friday night and from your dog.
My rockin' Friday night pandemic. Yeah, my dog's a
Yeah,
little
I know.
bored,
Friday
but
night and
he's
pandemic,
just.
good times, huh? Yeah, but yeah, again, I went. Definitely, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to get more.
Thank you.
So you're, more females on, and hopefully this will set a trend. Those others that maybe were thinking about it or watching will be more comfortable, more apt to come on, what have you. So,
Yeah, I would just say to anybody that's teaching it, or if you have a friend that's a female friend, like invite them out. And
mhm.
I mean, you don't need to change everything, but make them feel welcome.
Yeah, yeah,
You don't have to roll out the red carpet, but don't scare them away. Like
mm,
if you have to scale something back, or take a senior student and have them work with a new female, then do it.
yeah,
It's much appreciated and worth it. And
yeah. We need to get more. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. We need to get more in here and all that for sure, for sure. Thank you, Guru Terry.
hey,
Yes,
Terry.
Andre. Thank you, Brian. As always, the regulars.
Ma'am, I feel so old. Unless you're from Texas, everybody's calling
Well,
me
he's close,
ma'am.
New Mexico. Brian is pretty close, and Brian has an arsenal. So Brian might as well be
The
in Texas.
weapons?
Brian is ready to go.
Pew pew.
So Brian might as well be in Texas. Brian's
This
yeah.
is my my only acquisition, of course. This is my baby.
Okay, I'm gonna be completely 100% transparent here and honest. Never shot a gun. Don't know much about guns. So what'd you just show me?
That was a CZ Shadow SB0175. It's a 9mm pistol, and I am not allowed to carry it like this, but I decided not to get to an expensive competition holster until I finished my qualification courses and stuff like that, because my goal is to compete. Since I can't carry it around and be a cowboy on the streets, then the next best thing is to um, to do competition. So there's IPSC is one, and IDPA is another that I'm interested
Awesome.
in competing in.
I gotta get my. Everybody keeps telling me, get your permit, get your
No,
permit, get
it's
your permit.
I don't know. Like up here, you can go to a range as a drop in and sign the waivers and stuff like that, and then be supervised to shoot without having a permit. But yeah, I've always wanted one, so
Oh, okay. So
it was no
somebody could.
transition.
All right, that's somebody could stand by me while I'm.
Well, you come up here, we'll take you. We'll
What's
take you to
that?
the range. If you come up here, we'll take you to the range.
Oh, that'd be one. That'd be fun. You guys
Yeah.
just stand back. Just-
Yeah.
nice pistol. Yeah,
I'll teach
Brian, you would know, buddy.
tactical pistol whipping.
Oh my gosh, I know. You'd be like cracking the back of the head. What was that?
Nice.
Tricia's hit me. Julius? What is it now? I'm used to be a gunsmith. Beretta. I've heard Beretta. Glock. Okay.
I used to have a Beretta on duty. Glocks, I
Wow.
find Glocks are so light. They're like toy guns because of all the plastic. Kind of get
Mhm.
ripped up for that. But I like all metal guns.
Yeah, God, I just don't, I don't know. It was always edge weapons.
Mhm.
But I should, yeah, the way things are going in this country, might be a good idea for me at least to get my license, a permit, whatever there. Yeah.
My understanding is that there's a ammunition shortage in the United States. Like the forums that I'm on, they're like, "Where are you guys getting your ammo?" I'm like, "You guys have an ammo shortage?"
No, well, the only thing not so much short, well, again, don't quote me on this. It could be. I'm hearing they might
Tupperware.
raise taxes significantly
Yeah.
on ammo. I like that. That's what I heard. I didn't hear so much on shortage, but more like potentially what on the taxes on the ammo. But again, don't quote me on the shortage, but the taxes they want to raise. I've heard that.
Oh, I
You know,
thought
to
that.
deter people from wanting to, it's the whole left, unfortunately. They don't want, the whole gun thing, in this country, I mean,
That no,
Second
it'd be
Amendment,
quite easy for me to buy a few thousand rounds if I wanted to. But when I was, yeah, I mean, it's cool. I think that everything's cheaper in the States, but I think we got a lock on the ammo here.
that's a, wow.
So Brian says there's a shortage
Oh, okay. Brian would know.
in the state.
Yeah, all right, Andres, depends on the state. Okay, okay.
No, Julius uses bows. Yeah. Well, there's a couple of places to teach archery up here. I've got some friends at one of my friends she was the technical advisor on Arrow. So
That's funny.
yeah.
Uses bow. Like,
Well, that is one of the PPZ moves is a bow and arrow. That's what they call it.
yeah. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. All right, and Dean Larson. Hey, thanks, Dean and Tricia. Hey, thank you, Dean.
Man, Dean
Thanks
is
for
an
coming in.
inspiration. That guy's a hard worker. Every time he comes out with one of his videos, I'm just
I
like,
know.
you make me feel
And
guilty, Dean. I'm feeling lazy right
I
now.
know his lands. I like his videos on the whole landscaping, whatever he does. There's like beautiful pics what he does and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, good guy. He seems like it. But yeah. So if you know any females, spread the word. I'm definitely encouraging that, and I always like to get people back on down the road. Especially when the COVID does, see what they're doing. I would definitely like to get you back on down the road, especially when things open up with your business and all that, and all that, and definitely because what I like to do then is actually like get segments of your class and all that, which makes it kind of
Mhm.
interesting for people to see. So if that's something
Oh,
you'd
that'd
be
be fun.
interested in doing,
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah. So I know the question remains, when's that going to happen, of course, but when it does, yeah, I definitely will get you back on. You know.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I know this is the FMA discussion, but I mentioned before one of the things that I've been really wanting to get into is the Hawaiian Lua and Michelle
that's
Manu, and
right.
man, it's amazing, and the weapons just beautiful. They're like
Yeah,
works of art,
I
but
know
deadly
Bird was
works of
telling
art.
me there is like a Hawaiian native arts. I guess,
Lua,
they're not obviously well known or publicized, but I guess they're there. Yeah. That would be neat. I would like to see
yeah,
that because I'm just fascinated by cultural arts like that. Yeah.
yeah. Well,
That'd
Michelle
be neat.
Michelle Manu is a female practitioner. Well, she's a guru, and so I've been discussing getting her up here for ages,
Mm,
but now everything is shut down, and so
yeah, that's right. Because you competed in the Luau's, correct?
I mean, I competed I was a Polynesian dancer, but
Polynesian. Yeah.
luau's are just like entertainments and fun for
Okay, so
tourists.
Polynesian, right.
Yeah, Polynesian dances was my jam,
Okay.
and then to mix a Polynesian dance with weapons and martial arts is pretty neat.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Well, when we get you back on, we'll have to have you, you can show us a Polynesian dance with weapons.
Hey, Russell.
If you so dare. If you so, so, but, all right, well, thank you again. Obviously this is gonna go, so, what I do is, this is important. So what I do is I take this, I download it, and I download it to YouTube. It doesn't take me that long. Like within an hour from now, I'll have it done, and then of course I'll share it to your wall, and then I mean, share it wherever you want and all that. But I always do that. So once I get here, it goes to YouTube, and then I'll send the YouTube link to your wall.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, Trish, thanks.
Thanks, Dean.
Take care. We'll be in touch. well, when I get up to Vancouver and getting you back on here when this mess ends.
Sounds good. Thanks to all the people
All
watching
right.
for the hellos and laughs.
Yeah, and the questions. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Take care.
Okay. Be
All right.
safe.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was excellent. She did a great job. And thank you all that watched and for your questions and your comments. I appreciate it. And it's good that we're getting females on here. And if any of you know any females that you think should come on here or should be heard, I mean, please, by all means, send me a PM message, and I can certainly make that happen. And next week, who is coming on? We have a father and son, I believe, Thursday and Tuesday. I'm finding out, but Master Ray Galan, I should know, but that looks like it's going to be Tuesday. It's just a question whether or not it's going to be live or recorded because he is in Australia. So I have just to work out those details, but I will know that I think actually by tomorrow. So that could be Ray Galan Tuesday, and then Thursday again, the first father and son, Chris and his father, Master Bruce, out of Florida. So that should be fun. All right, thank you again, guys, and I will see you next week. Take care.